to separate the men from the boys, motherfucker. Let's go. Let's go. Best can't kill out my intro. Word your blood, daddy. This time is for taking. Time steady ticking. Food supply getting lower and these diapers getting expensive.
What up, it's your boy E with BoxingProfits, bringing that toe-to-toe value that's undisputed in this industry. And I'm going to get straight to the point right here, you dig? Gary Russel Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford beef. Man, oh man, how did we get here? So, if you all don't know the backstory, I would suggest y'all do your own research because I'm going to just go forward with this one, you dig? I'm not going to go back in time and all that bullshit, okay? It's just a waste of time, to be honest with you. But I will say this, that Gary Russel Jr., in my honest opinion, is a whole out here for how he's handling this Terence Bud Crawford situation, okay? Now, if you so close to Bud and y'all had all this history together, you feel me? If you really wanted to fight Terence Bud Crawford, won't you go to fucking Omaha? Won't you try to sit down with his people? Won't you do things like real men supposed to do things, you dig? Sit across from a man, try to really get the motherfucking shit done instead of hitting the social media airwaves, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot, and trying to get, trying to stir up waters to catch fish, basically. Like, I know exactly what your tactics is, and I know exactly what you're doing. It's because when you have to use a story from, like, 15 years ago, bro, to try to, you know what I'm saying, motivate somebody to respond to you, that's the mark of a whole-ass nigga, you dig? And I ain't got no respect for nobody who go that far back in time in a story that, from a lot of different perspectives, is not true. Like, why would you do that? Oh, okay, it's for attention. I got you. So you an attention seeker. See, I understand that. But my thing is, where did all of this come from, right? For all these years, Gary Russell has been the back of the line, kind of introverted, keep to himself, stay with his family kind of guy, you know what I'm saying? And he hasn't been rattling the cage or, you know what I'm saying, the squeaking wheel gets the grease. Man, Gary Russell has been quiet as a church mouse. All these years, this nigga been quiet, okay? So now all of a sudden, out the clear blue sky, you know what I'm saying, you want to call out one of the best fighters that ever existed. Why? When it's a death sentence. It's suicidal. You see what I'm saying? And you're doing all this for attention. You're doing all this for clout. When you barking up that wrong tree, and that tree can snap and fall on you, break your neck, like Bud Crawford said. And I'm riding with Bud till the wheels fall off. It is what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Gary Russell Jr., in my opinion, if you wanted to get things done the right way, you go sit down with this man. You know what I'm saying? You go to his hometown, or you fly him out to where you at. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can get some business done the right way. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. I'm old school with it. I don't know about the rest of y'all niggas, you dig? But if you really want to fight this man, you can go to Omaha, Nebraska and really, you know what I'm saying, make some shit happen, you dig? But anyway, this whole thing with Terence Bud Crawford, you know what I'm saying, I understand what Bud's position is, okay? Because Bud really don't have a lot of leverage, and it's his fault. You dig? Because when he signed on back with Bob Arum and Top Rank, I knew that this was going to be the problems that he was going to have in his future. You know what I'm saying? You got Bob Arum as basically the puppet master. That's what he is. You know what I'm saying? Terence Bud Crawford, with all due respect, he's got Bob Arum's hand up his ass. You dig? And that's sad. Is because, like I said, I got a lot of respect for Terence Bud Crawford, but, you know what I'm saying, we all knew this about Bob Arum. You dig? Mikey Garcia, Timothy Bradley, you dig? Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? So many different people whose career could have went so much more further along. You know what I'm saying? That just got stifled because of the whole Top Rank fucking ceiling. You dig? So Terence Bud Crawford got all this talent in the world, but he can't get no major fights. You see what I'm saying? So my whole thing is this. If Bob Arum and his people has a way of providing Manny Pacquiao the leverage to fight Terence Bud Crawford, then I understand why Terence Bud Crawford is standing on his square and not entertaining any offers at this time, especially when he's trying to do something with Manny Pacquiao for next year. Makes sense. It's a unification bout. Terence Bud Crawford defeats Manny Pacquiao and retire him. Well, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Now Terence Bud Crawford is the only unified champion in the division outside of Errol Spence Jr. And that would give Terence Bud Crawford the leverage he needs to fight Errol Spence for the undisputed showdown. And of course, that remains to be seen because the way I see it is that Errol Spence has not only got to take on Danny Garcia, but he's got to take on Sean Porter again too. So there's plenty of time, right? So why would Terence Bud Crawford waste time with Gary Russell Jr. when Gary Russell Jr. is not even on Terence Bud Crawford's level? 20, 25 years down the line, 50 years down the line, who are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about Terence Bud Crawford, not Gary Russell Jr. That's the thing. But see, that falls all on Gary Russell Jr. That's why I don't respect his antics and what he's doing. Now, I will say this. There's a 95% chance that Terence Bud Crawford won't get the fight with Manny Pacquiao. But there is a 5% chance that fight can happen. However, if Terence Bud Crawford entertains Gary Russell Jr. with his shenanigans, then, of course, you know what I'm saying, Terence Bud Crawford is going to be left outside of the negotiation bid with Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao is going to move on and go with Mikey Garcia. You see what I'm saying? Period. That's the bottom line, okay? So, of course, Terence Bud Crawford has to do everything in his power to hold on to this negotiation potential with Pacquiao. Period. You think? So, Gary Russell has to know this. And if he doesn't know this, he's playing a whole move himself, knowing that Terence Bud Crawford is not even going to fucking entertain him. Even with all this bullshit with Al Heyman, using Al Heyman, we don't know if that shit is true or not from Gary Russell Jr. That's number one. Gary Russell Jr. has been talking a whole lot of bullshit. When's the last time you heard of anything about Al Heyman doing anything? You see what I'm saying? Like, so I don't trust Gary Russell Jr., especially I don't trust his mouth neither. And one thing I see for sure is that I saw Terence Bud Crawford deadlifting damn near 500 pounds, and I know what time of day that is. If this dude is 147-pound welterweight, deadlifting damn near 500 pounds, you best believe that you're going to have a real serious problem in that ring, Gary Russell Jr., if he punches and hits you. The chances is he's going to hit you. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's my whole take on it. You see what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of feminine energy in the atmosphere, and both Terence Bud Crawford and Gary Russell Jr. are showing signs of that activity, even though, you know what I'm saying, I understand what Bud's position is, but if he don't get that Pacquiao fight, he needs to fight Keith Thurman ASAP. ASAP. He needs to get in the ring with Keith Thurman over Kell Brook if the thing falls apart with Manny Pacquiao. That's the stuff we need to be hearing on the airwaves. You see what I'm saying? Especially if Keith Thurman's calling him out. You dig? I mean, that's a great showdown. That's something that will definitely give Terence Crawford the leverage, more leverage, added leverage that he needs over, I can't say over Errol Spence, but definitely it'll give him more leverage in the welterweight division for negotiational reasons. Y'all understand what I'm saying to you? Well, anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about it in the comment section below. It's your boy E with Boxing Profits. Signing out until the next one. Holla at your boy 100. Whoop, out.